Upon request, I'm going to talk to you about what I feel when I'm astral projecting. The question was what it feels like, or what does it feel like to astral project, but I can't really speak for everybody. I can only speak for myself. So when I initially get out of body, I feel like I'm no longer subject to the chemical reactions of my physical body and the cycles of my physical body. So when I'm out in my astral body, I feel like I can be my true self. Like my intent and behavior is not filtered or changed in any way. When I'm observing the physical universe, I feel like I'm in a very tranquil experience that assumes that I'm, slightly out of phase with the physical universe. There is a subtle energy system that interpenetrates the physical universe, but that's further down on the vibratory spectrum. That's different. But when I'm just out of phase with the physical universe, it's a very quiet, calm experience, because the way I see it, the physical universe is defined energy, structured energy locked into a small vibratory range, and it's not like other realms where you gradually desensitize to it. It's like as soon as you're out of phase with this vibratory range, you're pretty much completely desensitized to it, but you can still observe it. A lot of people vaguely describe this state of being as some astral copy of the physical universe, but I don't see it like that at all. Anyways, when I'm out of phase with the physical universe in this way, I can basically pass through everything as if it was air. Absolutely everything. The sun and the moon and metals and anything. There are instances where my astral body is affected by certain things, but I think it's indirect. Certain things affect subtle energies, which is a bit further down, and the subtle energies affect my movements. Like water, for instance. According to Wilhelm Reich's theory, water, it grounds subtle energy more than anything. And that might explain why, whenever I go into water, I'm a bit affected by the flow of the water. Then there are things like satellites and cell phone towers and other bits of technology that cause the astral body to behave unpredictably. I think that's just agitating subtle energies. Other than that indirect effect, I feel like I can just travel through everything like it's air. And then there is I call it the abstract state. Some people call it the creative realms. Robert Monroe calls it the locale 2. I might call it the creative realms. I might change its name because I'm writing something about this, and I feel that the creative realms or the creative realm, depends on how you see it, is a good name for it. But in this area, in this state of being, it's like I have 360 degree input, like I can just feel everything around me. Now it's so hard to retain experiences in this, to an extent, if you're outside of a human realm or a physical realm in general, because creative realms could be created by any entity, it's like you don't really know what's going on. Well, I do, but when I wake up from it, I feel like I really don't know what just happened, because I feel like I have input coming from everywhere. It can't really be downloaded to a tangible physical experience. And outside of physical realms, I feel like I'm jumping all over the place, like teleporting, going through these fluid environments, and what other things are pretty abstract, going through wormholes and getting sucked into vortices and all these weird things. That's what's going on with immaterial environments, and that's very confusing, especially considering input comes in from all sides, and I have these Spidey senses. I forgot to mention, in general, I have Spidey senses. Like if an entity's in an adjacent room in any sort of state, and this room is like a human environment or the real-time zone, then I will know that that entity's there. I'll be able to feel their presence. You can kind of get input from behind you, or you can feel connected to other entities in ways that doesn't make immediate sense in the astral plane. So you do have these sorts of Spidey senses, or I do. And of course, in general, I feel more interconnected with entities because I don't have a material body to get in the way of my connectiveness. Like you can really just mind meld with people. A lot of times I feel like a hollow sphere with an awareness as a point in the middle, and the sphere is like a spherical sensory organ, like it's universal. But a lot of times I feel like there's filters around it that make my input more directional, or filter out counterintuitive energies, like energies that we can't really interpret on the EM spectrum, for instance. And I feel like this is just a big old sphere body. A lot of people call it a body of light or a ball of light. They feel like they're in this light body. I don't really have a name for it. I just call it, I call it the astral body, but I don't call it the other things. A lot of people think that they have a bunch of different bodies because they have this sphere or ball of light body, but then they also have a human double body, like a physical body double, and other bodies that appear different or feel different. But to me, it's like I have the same body, just has different constructs around it, different outer shells or outer bodies, because I've experimented with these things. I've removed them, I've diddled with them, and realized that they're all the same thing. I think that even the physical body is an outer shell that the astral body couples to and controls, just like our thought form constructs that we can generate around our astral body are outer shells that we can control. Except, of course, the physical body is 10 times more complex and, self-sustaining. With the thought form bodies, at least the non-human ones or the counterintuitive ones, you have to constantly sustain them with thought. Whereas with a normal physical body, it's just, the environment, the way the physical universe is built, it sustains the energetic structuring of the physical body. Of course, we need to sustain the body with food and all, but that's a whole different story. I'm not saying that there are no different bodies or there isn't an array of bodies, but I find that a lot of reports where people describe different bodies in different ways, but yet they're still in the astral plane or something that sounds like astral plane. I suspect that these experiences are really just people experiencing a shell of some sort or an energetic construct, whatever you want to call it, around the astral body that is developed around it. If you really want to get an idea of locale 2 or the creative realms, you should look into Robert Monroe's trilogy. In Far Journeys, he has so many experiences with immaterial beings and within immaterial environments. He puts it in a way that you can understand, but also makes it so that it's not so much distorted. It's not a huge distortion of the actual experience. He has a really good balance between those two things. I can relate to a lot of his experiences. It is my belief that I come from the astral state of being and managed to find a way to incarnate, or maybe it happened naturally, but I feel like I come from this state of being because there's lots of times where I felt like I was there before, like many years ago, like long before my incarnation. Like there are different environments where I found myself in where people are calling me different names that I kind of are familiar with, but I really didn't know them that well, or I forgot about them. And I have a longing for different realms and stuff, creative realms, and I don't really know what the realm is or how it was generated, but I feel like it's a place that I've been to a lot, or was some sort of home of mine. I feel like I can build stuff from thought, just things around me and different constructs. Usually it's pretty abstract, the things that I build. I also feel like a very powerful being. Like I'm not easily intimidated by other beings, especially if they look significantly different, if they're larger. It doesn't really matter. I understand the astral body. You can put constructs around it that make the body look huge, but if you read the radiation of the being, you can determine exactly how powerful and intelligent they are. And also, I'm just, not afraid of dying or getting damaged, because the astral body it doesn't seem to be able to die, and it doesn't really get damaged. It gets disrupted, but that's a bit different. It's like a temporary thing, a highly temporary thing. So that's what I feel in the astral plane. See you next time.